Carlos Prates has responded to Ian Garry calling him a quitter. The two are set to fight at UFC Kansas City later this month. If you missed what Ian said, he posted this video to his Instagram earlier this week.
Did you see it? Here, look at this. This is a video of Carlos Prates and his true fighting spirit. It's called being a quitter. He'd just been beaten up all the rounds prior, puts his hand up, shakes his head, says, "I'm done," and then just drops to the ground in absolute despair because he knows that deep down, he's not a fighter.
Carlos Prates responded with a video of his own. He says he's training while Ian is talking shit on the internet.
Estamos aqui treinando, ó. Enquanto o Ian Garry tá na internet falando merda, tá com muito tempo livre. Tô aqui treinando pro dia 26, encher de murro na boca. Depois ele vai ficar falando que ele não teve tempo pra treinar, porque tava na internet falando merda. Arrombado.
Fight announcements. Kevin Holland versus Vicente Luque has been added to UFC 316. Holland is coming off a unanimous decision win over Gunnar Nelson in March. Luque is coming off a first-round submission win over Themba Gorimbo. Jared Gordon is set to face Thiago Moises at UFC Vegas 106 on May 17th. Gordon is coming off a split decision loss to Nasrat Haqparast last summer. Moises is coming off a unanimous decision win over Trey Ogden back in January. Israel Adesanya's coach Eugene Behrman gave an update on his career. Eugene reveals a conversation he had with Izzy in Alexander Volkanovski's locker room at UFC 314. In an interview with Submission Radio, Eugene went on to say the one brief conversation that he had with me in Volkanovski's locker room, he said, "Look man, I think I'm going to fight again." So those are the conversations we're having. Like, yeah, I want to fight again. I want to fight again. I think I'm ready to fight again. It's like we're having conversations about whether he should fight again, or whether he feels like he should, or he has that feeling that he wants to, whether he has that hunger inside. And that's the conversations we're having. So to be talking about, am I fighting this or that? No, you've got to bring it back a level. I'm being patient. I mean, like, I'm cool with what Izzy does. Izzy's done everything he needs to do in the sport, went to the highest level. But the reality is, he's lost 3 of his last 4. He knows the kind of commitment and dedication that he needs to be in the sport. And we just had one of our best friends, a guy who's the same age as Izzy, might even be older, win the championship of the world. And we both know from firsthand experience how hard that man works. Age is not going to matter to a guy when you work like that, mate. I'm not privy to everybody's camp and everybody's work ethic, but that's the hardest worker in the sport. Age is not going to matter, mate. I couldn't believe how many people that I was hearing were writing Volk off. So we have a very close friend of ours, and we look at his work ethic, and that's the example. That's the bar. That's where we got to go. And as he knows, that's where he's got to go. And that's a heavy, heavy commitment to dedicate yourself as much as Volk does. It's a heavy, heavy commitment for any fighter in their prime, let alone that's in the twilight of their career. Tom Aspinall gives his reaction to Jean Silva's submission victory over Bryce Mitchell. Tom was very impressed with Silva and says he had unbelievable technique.
So I know I've been away. Didn't get to really react online about the Miami card last week, but this is one that I really enjoyed. Bryce Mitchell, Gene Silva. The finish was nice. He goes left hook, right onto the body, hurts him. Bryce Mitchell reacts by trying to grab the leg, and he locks up like, I would call that a ninja choke, but people call it different stuff. Like a front guillotine with the arm wrapped over like a rear naked grip. I guess you call it like a front guillotine, but he tightens it up, taps him, leaves it on a little bit longer. Bryce Mitchell, unfortunately, loses consciousness. Unbelievable technique to be able to do that in high pressure situations. He had his opponent hurt. His opponent went for the takedown straight away. He's on it. Killer instinct. Finished him with the front choke.
Merab Dvalishvili is set to defend his bantamweight title against Sean O'Malley at UFC 316. Merab posted a video showing how he's going to finish Sean.
This is Sean, like 6 feet tall, like a tree, skinny tall guy, and this is just machine, you know? And I'm gonna just go around, and BAM! Easy, bro. Easy, bro. And he's going down. That's it. Game over. And still. Where is my butt? Then the white. Please. I'm just kidding. Life is good.
Renato Moicano was very critical of Michael Chandler and his performance against Paddy Pimblett. Moicano explains why he believes Conor McGregor destroyed Chandler's career. Go check out the latest episode of the Show Me the Money podcast. Links in the description.
I think he got tired, my brother. You know why?
Yeah.
Because I think that's why he didn't wrestle much. It's the same thing with Justin Gaethje. Have you seen?
Yeah.
Have you heard Justin Gaethje talk about wrestling?
Right.
He say, I don't wrestle because I guess out.
Yeah.
I think Chandler is the same way, but everybody was talking him. Oh, you need to wrestle, Pat. You need to wrestle, Pat.
Yeah.
He didn't got tired. That's my opinion.
Yeah.
He got tired. So let's talk about that. I know a lot of people gonna trash on me because I'm trashing Michael Chandler, but in reality, McGregor destroyed his career, brother. I think that was fucking McGregor's fault, brother.
Yeah.
You know, 2 years without fighting, waiting, brother.
Plus at his age, you know.
Yeah, I am 35, soon to be 36. I cannot wait 2 years to fight whoever, you know. I have to fight as soon as possible, and I think that was a huge mistake by Michael Chandler, be waiting for McGregor. I know it's the money fight, but you cannot count on McGregor, you know. He's talking about being president, you know. He's talking about the president of Ireland, bro. Imagine that, you know.
Arman Tsarukyan addresses his beef with Dan Hooker. The feud began after Hooker made comments criticizing Tsarukyan for withdrawing from his scheduled title fight against Islam Makhachev due to a back injury. In response, Tsarukyan took a jab at Hooker when he later pulled out of a bout against Justin Gaethje because of a broken hand. On the Jackson podcast, Tsarukyan made it clear that he's not currently interested in a fight with Hooker, as his focus remains solely on capturing the UFC lightweight title. That being said, Tsarukyan added that if the matchup ever did materialize, it would be easy money for him.
Did something happen that we don't know between you and Dan Hooker?
No, we're just talking.
Just that's it.
Yeah.
But
because I know
when
when we're gonna be in one room, he's gonna shut up and just listen me. Because I know like these people, they just can talk on the internet, but when they one-on-one, they scared. Like,
how do you see a fight between you and Dan Hooker going?
I'm going there to play, just easy money. I mean, I don't know. Like,
All right. I love it. All right.
But it's a easy money, and I mean, but if I beat him, like, it no makes sense fight for me.
Yeah.
I don't need money right now. I need belt. If I beat him, people say you beat like a top 10 or I don't know what's his number. It's no make sense fight. He's not contender. He never beat like a good fighters. He never be on the top 5. So it's.
Aaron Pico will be making his UFC debut sometime this year. He says he's confident he could beat either Islam Makhachev or Ilia Topuria.
Max Holloway, champion. Volkanovski, champion. Ilia Topuria, champion.
I was like, man, I can beat these guys, like especially Ilia Topuria, and he's going up to 155, and I think him and Islam, I think that's going to be a great fight, but I was like, I can beat them, you know. There's some holes, especially in the wrestling, that a lot of people can't see. Like, I can beat these guys. I know there's certain areas, you know, with my hands and my wrestling and grappling. So now the fun starts. It's all great to have this media and everybody's excited, but at the end of the day, you got to go in there and knock people's heads off. That's what I'm here to do.
Tyron Woodley reveals he hasn't spoke to Robbie Lawler since their fight back in 2016, where Woodley won via knockout in the first round to claim the UFC welterweight title. He says he was accused of spying on Robbie prior to the fight. However, he says there's no truth to that at all. Go check out Tyron's full appearance on the Versus podcast with Eric Nixick. Links in the description.
No, this is what happened. And I don't want to sound messy. I don't want to bring up names, but a specific striking coach at ATT. He accused us of putting cameras and watching Robbie.
Oh, right? I remember this. I remember this.
And I'm like, if you know me, I get a boner off of figuring you out myself. I don't want no.
Yeah, I know.
I don't want no cheat sheet. I never took a PED. Last time I cheated on the test was 8th grade. So at the end of the day, we went down to camp. I was there for like 2 weeks. I mean, I love Robbie, man. Me and Robbie never spoke after that, and it's kind of a bummer because I really, really supported him. But like Randy will tell you, I did viewing parties for his title fights. Like my family loved Robbie. Like I really loved Robbie. Like not just saying like actual love to do, because he was one of the last of a dying breed.
Sure.
He was a martial artist. He didn't have to talk crap. If you got to know him, which many people didn't, because he didn't speak much, right? He was real giving and he was real gentle. He was just a good dude, right?
Right.
And his road from being in the UFC, Dana told him, go ahead and you young, go fight some fights outside the organization. We'll bring you back, right? He went out to Strikeforce, Elite XC, and then he didn't have like the A+ career outside of that. But when he came back to the UFC, nobody can ever deny his run that he ran to the title, right? Some of the most remarkable fights you'll ever see. So as a friend and as a brother, I supported him. He brought home the first belt to ATT. Now, he didn't start at ATT.
Right.
I'm the first product of ATT that they can say, we started him from amateur all the way through, and he won a UFC title, right? So when we got it, I get it, it's sensitive. It's a sensitive moment. And he just felt kind of like, I think he felt kind of like hurt as a friend. It was real personal for him. He thought it was personal for me, but it wasn't. I started MMA at 23. That's old. I don't get a chance to get another opportunity. You tell Dana White no to a title fight, you think you're going to get another opportunity?
Right.
No. I would have loved for it to be somebody else, Johnny Hendrick. I would love for it to be GSP. I would love for it to be anybody besides Robbie. And when I got the opportunity, it happened to be Robbie.
Patricio Pitbull discusses what's next for him. Pitbull made his UFC debut recently at UFC 314 and dropped a unanimous decision loss to Yair Rodriguez. The performance left a lot of fans frustrated, with many pointing to Pitbull's lack of urgency during the fight. He responded to the backlash saying, maybe for spending many years in 5-round fights, I don't know if my sense of urgency took too long to activate. It was my mistake to not start with the foot on the gas, but it's understandable because that could have led to a mistake. I don't like to make mistakes. I like to hit the target when I fire. In general, I could have done more, went for war, hunted him, but it's too late to say. We could have done better. Now that I'm no longer the champion, I have to hunt my opponents. That's exactly what I'm going to do in my next fights. I have to do it and I'll do it. They're all good names, and I think that's going to be the next move, but I told the UFC to surprise me. I wanted to debut with the right foot. Had I beat Yair Rodriguez, I'd definitely be in the top 5 now, and people would be asking me about possibly being next for the belt. Now I have to look at the top 15. It's a bit frustrating, but I understand that's what needs to happen now. Khamzat Chimaev had a message for Dricus du Plessis today. The two are not scheduled to fight just yet. However, Dana White recently said that he liked the idea of booking them for International Fight Week. Recently, Khamzat teased that the fight would be announced soon. He wrote good news. Today, he posted this photo of him carrying the UFC title. Dricus reposted that photo to his Instagram story, with the song Death Is No More playing in the background. Ilia Topuria has responded to Paddy Pimblett and likes the idea of fighting him. Following Paddy's TKO win over Michael Chandler, he called Ilia irrelevant.
To be honest, I forgot about him. I forgot all about him, or I would have mentioned him in the cage, you know what I mean? I don't call him hand sanitizer boy anymore, he's now El Chorizo. But as I say, I literally forgot all about him. That's how irrelevant he is. I'm ranked higher than he is at lightweight, so you know, I'd love to welcome him to 155, but apparently he's sitting out and waiting for the title shot. But, you know, that what I've just done to Chandler's after blueprint to beating him. He's even more of a midget than Chandler is. Like, I'll do the exact same thing to Ilia than what I've done to Chandler.
Ilia Topuria responded saying, what excites me more is a fight with Paddy. That fight excites me even more. If they could put that fight in Spain, in the Bernabeu Stadium. I know that Dana doesn't like to put the events in the stadium, but that's the only stadium in the world where they can close the roof. And that's going to wrap it up for the news. Thanks for watching. For daily MMA news and content, subscribe to Full Mount MMA and click the bell icon to be notified when we post videos. Here are the 3 top comments from last video. The first one's from OHM Games. It says, that was a cool moment Chandler shared with his kid. The second one's from Gore1135. It says, Volk, still being able to beat the young generation adds to my legacy. Jones, what does Tom offer to my legacy? Edit, for those saying Jones doesn't need anything else on his legacy, then why is he holding up a division fighting old man Stipe? If he's so decorated, retire. And the final one's from John O30197. It says, John Jones' deleted post just sums him up. If he quacks like a duck, walks like a duck, sounds like a duck, it's definitely John Jones. Those were the 3 top comments from last video. If you want to be featured in the next one, all you have to do is comment down below. And if you missed yesterday's news, click Click the video on screen right now to get caught up.